to clean the subway platform. Owing to the steady reputational rise of Muckingham, Caldera City Transportation Network is excited to announce the reopening of its subway links to the vibrant town. We'd like you to deep clean the platform area ahead of the grand unveiling. Please note that whilst much of the graffiti in the facility could be said to possess artistic merit, we would like you to remove it all. That's unfortunate. I always feel bad getting rid of the graffiti, especially if the graffiti looks really nice. Wait a second, how large is this? How big of a job is this? Oof, this is gonna take a while. This is gonna take a while. At the very least, it's all mostly like grimy subway. It's all mostly like flat and open areas. There's no movement. There's no like weird crevices everywhere that I need to worry about. It's mostly flat surfaces. So flat surfaces are easy for the most part. How bad could it be, right? Perhaps you would like some interesting statistics on our railroad systems whilst you work. Oh yeah, I'd love it. Hit me with statistics. No, I have to get to 20% for them to give me anything. I'm in danger. Yeah, well, this one I am. I need to keep working on adding new redemptions onto my bot. Abby and I have had some ideas. But no, we mostly added silly things. Like we've got the citation, which Abby loves. I also love. It's super funny. If anybody's played Papers, Please, it's a citation from the game. We managed to get the art assets directly from the game, the font that's used, the sound effects ripped directly from the game. It's fantastic. And then something really stupid that I added for no real reason is whenever somebody sends a Minecraft villager, I have a Minecraft villager like BTTV emote, and whenever anybody sends one of those in any message, my bot will play a villager sound effect. If you put a bunch of them in one message, you'll get a bunch of villager sound effects. Abby likes to use it as a way of getting my attention if I'm distracted and not looking at chat. Yeah. The bot's been a fun project. I just wish I knew a little bit more about the CSS of it. I had a feeling the moment I brought it up that Abby was going to take advantage of it. Okay, I've also just realized that Theo is nowhere to be found, so I will put the poof on now. And now we wait to see how long it takes Theo to realize that I have this on. Because he will absolutely go crazy for it. I can't put it on when he's watching me, because then he's just immediately going to go for it. I have to wait when he least expects it. And it's so funny, because he always will come over and just check to see if it's there. Because he knows that every once in a while it'll actually be there. He's such a funny cat. They're both very funny cats. I love them both. Riveting gameplay. I think I read that I have like 12 jobs left before today's stream, and I finished a monster truck and the Ferris wheel. So that leaves me with 10 jobs left to do. Once I finish this, I think that puts me at 9. The problem is the farther you get in the game, the longer the jobs get. And I've already had one job that took me almost 3 hours, so I might have a bit of cleaning still in my future. Okay, that's... I will bear in mind that the tracks are very forgiving for their cleanliness. Reminds me of House Flipper. I haven't had a chance to play House Flipper yet, but I've seen some gameplay of it before. I see what you're talking about. This game also gives me the same feeling as another game that I played called Train Station Renovation, which I really like. Train Station Renovation. It was also satisfying in a similar way, where you had to clean things and, you know, set up everything for the train station. But it was definitely not anywhere near as meticulous as this one is. This one, they really just, they want you to get every inch of every area they give you, which some people think that makes the game just, that they make this game super tedious. I don't know though. There's just something satisfying about working on a project like this that doesn't require much thought. It's just kind of like menial labor. I don't know why I sometimes just like menial labor. I can just usually turn my brain off for a bit, just let my mind wander while I'm power washing. Listen to some low-key jazz elevator music. I need to get into a good, like, position for this. I'd like to get straight. Definitely not going straight. It is definitely like relaxing in a way. I don't know, it's weird. People seem to have very strong reactions one way or other. They're either like, this game is amazing and it's the most relaxing and satisfying thing I've ever seen, or this game looks like boring and torture, why are you playing it? And you know what? Because I'm having fun. But yeah, no, this subway platform, this is going to take me a little bit. There's no way this doesn't take me. Like, after all of that, I'm only 6% of the way done with this station. This is gonna take a hot minute. I like how my character is just like rubbing himself against the walls. I'm trying to keep like a steady distance away, so I'm pushing against the wall. I don't know what it is about this game. I've been enjoying it though. Like I'm never upset when I have to go into a, or when I'm gonna go into a PowerWash Simulator stream. I'm never dreading it. Sometimes when I have a game that I'm playing and I'm just not loving it, I'm like, ugh, I gotta do another one of this one. I've had some bad luck with some games that I've been playing lately. Not ones that I've been streaming though. Like I did enjoy Omori. Heavy Rain was alright after the first stream. The first stream was not great with the glitches. But like the game that I was playing on my own for a while, I was playing an old JRPG called Xenogears. I was not enjoying that. And it was so long and I was so upset. Because I just wanted to be done with it. But I have difficulty stopping a game once I start it. Until it's finished. Sometimes you want to fight somebody, sometimes you want to paint somebody. It always makes me think of that, like, that meme from, I think it's a Fine Brothers, like, React video where it's like, it's some woman and she's like, and see, this is why I hate video games. Like, it appeals to the male fantasy, and then everybody posts these videos of, like in the video games where they allow you to like slide down the slide at a playground. It's like not every video game has to involve violence and blood and gore and everything awful in the world. Sometimes you just want to power wash a subway station. And that's another reason why I've made it my goal to try and play as many different games as I can, because one thing I've learned over all my time doing this is that you never know what games you're actually going to enjoy. Like, I've had games that I started to play that I was like really looking forward to because I'd heard so many good things about it and I thought that it was going to be great, and then I just did not enjoy in the slightest. And then I've had games that I thought were going to be boring and tedious or uninteresting and have gone on to be like my favorite game of the year. It's all just like, it's all chance. You never know what you're going to like. That's why I like to try and encourage people to try different games and not get stuck on the same ones all the time. God, I can't believe I've been stuck on this one floor this whole time. This level's much bigger than I initially thought. We're almost 10% of the way there. Variety is the spice of life. Sometimes you might find a hidden gem. I definitely have felt like I've found some hidden gems. I've also definitely found some games that people were like swearing by, like, and then I just could not stand it. I've also found that the same way with like animes and movies and shows as well. You don't have to like everything that's popular, I guess. Right now that I finished that Xenogears game, I started playing a Yu-Gi-Oh game. It's like an old PS1 Yu-Gi-Oh game that I used to play when I was younger. And I'm playing it now, and I'm having difficulty with it because it's not Yu-Gi-Oh rules. It's from before they like solidified the rules of the game. And so it's cards that I recognize, but like anime rules. It's so like weird. Not Duel of the Roses. I love Duel of the Roses. That one, I love that one. That one's for the PS2, I think, though. No, I'm playing Forbidden Memories. I love Duel of the Roses, though. Like, I get that Duel of the Roses is also different from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! But I loved the gameplay in Duel of the Roses. I played that game so much. I unlocked, like, every card. I'm so excited to play it again at some point because I played that before I started tracking my games. So I have an excuse to go back and play it again one day. I'm definitely going to. Okay, we got the tunnel floor. This track is still not clean. I can't sprint and spray, so we gotta go like this. Okay, I definitely got some of that track, but I'm definitely missing some more. Let's hope this doesn't take forever. Nerds. I'm sorry. You calling people that are playing video games for fun on Twitch nerds? It'll take a couple hours at least. I agree. I think this is an accurate assessment. We have accomplished one tunnel floor and corresponding tracks. That was 11%. And that took me, well, it took me 15 minutes. So 15 minutes times 10 is 150 minutes. We're looking at over 2 hours at least. Actually, that's less than I would have guessed. When I first started this map, I was gonna guess like 3 hours, but a little over 2 is not bad. Yeah, Forbidden Memories. It's definitely tough. What makes it hard is that you can just fuse cards willy-nilly. There's no like indicators on what cards you can and can't fuse together. And so the game wants you to just like trial and error and then memorize what cards work. And I'm not the type of person to do that. I'm not the type of person to just sit there and try random things until they work. Maybe when I was younger and I didn't have that many games, but now that my time is valuable. So what I ended up doing with Forbidden Memories is I found a document online that says like for each card what it can be fused with. And so I wrote a computer program where I can input my hand of what I have in my hand, and it will tell me what fusions I can make. Is it cheating? Debatable. Do I care? Not really. Your estimate is scientifically accurate. Definitely. I'll vouch. Yeah, I know. I found like an online calculator that would do it for you, but one of the things that the calculator was missing is like in Forbidden Memories, you can take 2 cards, fuse them, and then in the same turn, a 3rd card and fuse that into the result. And all the calculators I saw online wouldn't take that into consideration. It would just tell you like what 2 cards you could fuse together, and then nothing beyond that. So when I wrote my program, I had to implement something. I don't know if anybody here does any kind of coding knowledge. I had to do something called recursion. Recursion is when you first like learn about recursion in programming, it is a miserable experience. But to sum it up, just in simple terms, pretty much everything that you do in coding is a series of functions. You do minor coding, so you might know what recursion is then. But in general, whenever you're coding something, you'll have a series of functions where it's like you have a couple of parameters, like pieces of data that are your input, basically. And then your function runs and does different things. Putting characters into Mugen. Oh man, I haven't played Mugen in years. But so in programming, you'll have your input, then your function does a bunch of things using that input. It might manipulate the input. It might only read the input. It depends on the function. And then it will come out with some kind of an output, which could be directly saying, like, you put a number in and it comes back with a different number, or some functions you put a number in and it won't return anything, but the number will be changed after you put it in there. Stuff like that. I also just realized that I didn't get my new fancy skin on my... Where do I put my skin? How do I equip my How do I equip my... Oh, is it here? Here it is. There we go. I'm not sure I like that. That doesn't really look gold to me. Maybe it's just the lighting of the level. I like the little crown on it though. Anyway, I've gotten off topic. So you have coding and functions where you take some input data, it does something into the data, then it outputs it. Recursion is when you take a function. Actually, before I say what recursion is, one thing about functions is that functions can call other functions. So let's say you have a function where you pass in like a mathematical formula where you pass in like 3 times 2 plus 4. Let's say something like that. And you have a function that reads that mathematical function. It's like, okay, we've got 2 different operations. We have a multiplication and an add. And then you could have another function that's like, I can do adding. Hand me 2 numbers and I'll add them together. And I can have another function that's hand me 2 numbers. I'll multiply them. Honey mustard hue. Yeah, I see that. Like, I can multiply them. So what the one function will do is it'll read the numbers, determine in what order they should be called in. And then it'll call the add function with the correct numbers, and it'll call the multiple function with the correct numbers. Anyway. In coding, that's basically how everything is done. You have one main function that runs through and just calls a bunch of different functions and tells them what to do. Now then, I've multiple times gone towards what is recursion. Recursion is when you have a function that calls itself and can continue to call itself multiple layers deep. And there are certain problems where recursion is just the only like realistic way of solving the problem. And it gets very confusing very quickly when you first start with recursion, but once you understand it, it definitely is powerful. And so what I would do with the Yu-Gi-Oh hand is I would pass in my calculate what fusions I can make function. I'd pass in my hand, what I currently had in my hand. And then I would calculate every fusion that I could make. And then what I would do is I would call the calculate fusions function again, but instead of passing in what my current hand is, I pass in what my hand would be if I did that first fusion. So if I have cards A, B, C, D, E, and there's a fusion I can make of D and E to make F, then I pass in and call the function again with A, B, C, F, and then see if there's any fusions I can make in there as well. I feel like I just rambled on about coding for a while, which nobody really cares about. Except for me, I care. It's my living. I make a living coding. So I can talk about it every now and again. I barely talk about my job. I don't want to talk about my job though. My job either makes me miserable or happy. at the end of the day, there's no in between. Just don't understand it. Yeah. I thought about one day doing like streams where I code on stream. Just kind of showing people how coding typically goes. I actually might do that for December. So in December, they have this event that happens for coders called the Advent of Coding, and it's pretty fun. What happens is this one guy has started it. He's been getting sponsored now, and now it's like people across the world participate in it, where he puts up a question, some kind of a puzzle, and they're all questions that you could try to solve by hand, but most of the time that it's too much work. And so the questions are all geared towards being programmatically solved, where you should code up a solution to the question, and then all you have to do is find the answer. And he puts up one of these questions every day of December leading up to Christmas. So there's 25 challenges that he puts up. And I did it last year, and it was pretty fun. And so maybe I'll think about streaming my solving of the Advent of Code in December. I don't know if anybody would be interested in seeing that, though. I'm just thinking about one of the problems that I had to solve last year in it. It required thinking in three-dimensional space with coordinates. So, you know, you've got like, if this tile here is a grid, and like let's say this tile is 0, 0, and this tile is 2, 2. But then you got to think in 3 dimensions, and so if the tile's extruded out, you could have 2, 2, 2. I'm rambling again. Anyway, I had to think about that, and then I had to think about rotating in that space, and I was so confused trying to understand what I was trying to do. I was sitting there at my desk, like rotating my perspective. At one point I needed to be 180 degrees, so I'm just standing there with my head down by my ankles trying to, yeah, like Sudoku in 3D, yeah. I'm just standing with my head down by my ankles trying to like visualize the correct angles at that point. Definitely something stupid. But the questions will all start out like really kind of simple. Like the first question, for example, could be like, you start with a number that's given to you, and then you have to take the last 3 digits of that number and add it to the first 3 digits of the number, and then put that in the middle of the number, let's say. And then you have to repeat that process 100 times and then figure out what that number is, or count how many 9s there are in that number, something like that. Some kind of a question like that, where it's like, okay, you could theoretically solve that on paper. You could sit there and manually add these numbers 100 times, but nobody wants to do that. That's just a pain in the butt. And so you write a program to do it for you. But those are like the types of problems that you'll have. I think Abby said that she would consider participating in the Advent of Code this year, because she didn't do it last year. One of the only problems with it is that the problems get released at midnight, and awards points to people based on how fast they solve the problems. And last year I wanted to try and impress my manager a little bit because I was still like new. Oh, hi there. I would ask if you would clean my caravan, but I already know what your answer is. Caldera City subway system was built using over 16 million bricks. A lot of bricks. If you were to pile them up top to tail, they would extend a staggering 2,137 miles into the Earth's atmosphere. That is a lot. That's pretty high. That's only a tantalizing 236,718 miles short of the moon's surface. Tantalizing? I don't know if tantalizingly close would be the phrase I'd use there. Okay, solve the Collatz conjecture. We're gonna have to define the Collatz conjecture, but I'm under the impression, like just reading, I think I've heard that phrase before, and the only thing I'm thinking is unsolvable problem. So I'm going to assume no, I can't solve the Collatz conjecture, but let's take a look at what it is. The Collatz conjecture. One of the most famous unsolved problems in mathematics. Nice. The conjecture asks whether repeating two simple arithmetic operations will eventually transform every positive integer into 1. What does that even mean? Wait, I think I watched a video about this problem by Veritasium like 6 months ago or so. I'm just going to save myself like hours, days, years of my life trying to solve the problem and just conclude, no, I can't solve it. I actually did my master's thesis examining one of those unsolved problems. Not a mathematical one, a computer one. I wasn't trying to solve the problem because I had a clear, if I solved it, the world would be it would be a completely different place. And so what I decided to write my paper on was not trying to solve this unsolvable problem. It was how would that change the world as we know it? Because the problem is called the P versus NP problem. And to boil it down into the most simplest terms I can, think of like, you know, like any kind of encryption on a computer. Like, yeah, you'll have passwords being encrypted and hidden away, and so that the only way you'd be able to decrypt the password is if you know the correct key to decrypt the password. Similar to like a safe combination. You can easily, if you know what the safe combination is, you can easily open the safe. If you don't, you basically have no choice but to like inefficiently try each individual one to try and open the safe. This is ignoring, you know, safe cracking and all that. And it's the same way with encryption on computers, where you'll have all of your sensitive data encrypted, and then in order to decrypt it, you need to know what the key is to decrypt it. But if somebody wanted to try and force their way and figure out what the key was to decrypt your stuff, it would require a lot of time, a lot of effort. Like, think of like Bitcoin mining, how what Bitcoin mining boils down to is finding these hashes that equal 0 somewhere, something like that. But they're basically just trying a bunch of possible numbers over and over as fast as they can until they find a number that matches, and then then they announce, okay, we've got the next one, move on to the next chain, next block in the chain. Encryption for everything, from your passwords to your bank account information, all of that online is encrypted with a similar kind of key, where unless you have the key, like the website will have the key to decrypt the information that it's holding on to for you, so that it can display to you like your bank information if you ask for it, but that somebody who's trying to like intercept the information won't be able to see anything from the encrypted data. But anyway, once again, I'm rambling because I'm not very good at explaining things. So, given a problem, like you have an encrypted message and you're trying to decrypt the message, you have no choice but to try and just basically randomly brute force and guess until basically have no choice but to brute force and guess until you find the correct one that'll decrypt it. And you might find you could find yourself in a situation where you're not really fully decrypting it. Like, you could find something that decrypts it and it's 80% correct. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is the reason that encryption works in computers is because it is easy to encrypt something. Like, in order to find the code, the process that you use to encrypt something, easy. And once you know what the code is, decrypting is also easy, but you need to know what that key is. And trying to brute force and find the key is hard and takes a long time. And what that boils down to is this theorem called the P versus NP problem, where P and NP refer to problem sets, where let's say one problem is verifying that a key is correct, and another problem is finding the correct key. And we know that finding the key or verifying if a key is correct or not is easy. All you have to do is put the key in and it either works or it doesn't work. That's easy. So that's in the problem sets of P, which are problems that can be solved very quickly. But then the problem set of once you have a key and once you're given an encryption and you're trying to find the key, that's hard. You have to try a lot of different things. There's no efficient way of immediately figuring out what the key is. And so problems that can't be solved efficiently like that are going to the problem set of NP. And there's this concept in computer programming that all the problem sets that are in P and all the problem sets that are in NP are separate. There are some that overlap, but there are problems theoretically that are in P but not in NP, and vice versa. I really am butchering this. It's been so long since I worked on this project. But here's the thing about P and NP. P is problems that can be easily solved, and NP is problems that can't be easily solved. Let me find the actual one. So anything that is P okay. So P refers to a problem that can be verified efficiently. Let me just back up here. Going back to my example about the safe. The problem can be verified easily. You put in a combination and it either works or it doesn't work. So trying to open the safe, that problem is in P because it can be easily verified. But if you're told, open the safe, and you need to solve, like, what is a combination to the safe, that one cannot be easily solved because it takes a while. It can still be verified whether it's correct or not. I really just need to stop trying to explain this problem. My brain is too tired for this. Boiling it down, there's these two problem sets, P and NP. And there's been an argument for decades in computer science about whether every single problem that is in P is also in NP or not. And the entire basis of all security encryption is based off of the assumption that all the problem sets in P and NP are not the same. That P does not equal NP. And the problem is that assumption has never been proven. Nobody has ever found a problem that exists in either P or NP and does not exist in the other. But nobody has been able to verifiably prove that they are the same either. And the assumption is that they aren't. But people have tried for decades to try and verify it, and it's just not working. I'm sorry, I put Jill to sleep. No worries, Jill. I should also be getting ready for bed. I've rambled on for a while about nonsensical stuff. People got me started on math problems and computer problems. Blech. Okay, let's see where we left off. Cool. Okay. Better than I was expecting. But this wall is still dirty. I don't know where this wall technically ends. Okay, well we got it though, so I guess that's good. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a little bit since I've played. Maybe the dirty parts, like the ceiling. Anyway, so it's been a little bit since I've played, and I keep thinking about the fact that the last time I did this, for some reason I decided to start rambling on incoherently about a computer problem, and my brain was just so fried that I was not making any sense whatsoever about what it actually was. So I took a moment, I reviewed it. I'm going to give you no more than like 20 seconds. Ready? Two sets of problems. There's P, which is all the problems that can be solved quickly. Then there's NP, which is all the problems that can be verified quickly. Like, you give it a solution and it can quickly tell you whether that solution is correct or not. And those are two different problem sets, and we have these strict definitions for them. But the question that remains unsolved is P equal to NP? Which means, is every problem that can be verified quickly also solvable quickly? And that is one of the biggest unanswered questions in computer science. There's a university that offers a $1 million cash prize if you can definitively prove it one way or the other. Not all, but most of all forms of encryption and cryptography are reliant on the assumption that they are not equal. Because what it would mean if they are equal is that, you know, if you have something encrypted, you have to use a key to decrypt it. So you give it a key, and it's an NP because you give it a key, and then it'll quickly say whether or not that key is correct, and it'll either decrypt it successfully or not. But if P is equal to NP, that means that somewhere out there exists a way of cracking almost every kind of encryption quickly. Because right now, most of the time, if people want to try and crack encryptions, they just brute force it until they get something close enough, for the most part. But if somebody can find this algorithm that lets it be solved quickly, then all of our encryption is at risk. We would need a more secure way that's not based on that assumption that there is no way. But the problem and the sticking point is that nobody has been able to definitively prove it. Nobody has been able to definitively prove that there is no problem that exists in one set and is not also in the other set. And that's all it would take to disprove it, is you find one problem that you prove for a verifiable fact that it cannot be solved quickly. And you've proven it. But it's such a complex problem that despite the fact that some of the world's most brilliant mathematicians and computer scientists have tried, nobody's been able to definitively prove it. There's always some form of a flaw in the proof that's presented. And a lot of people think that the problem is just never going to actually be solved, and that's just an assumption that we're going to have to settle with. But yeah, no. If we ever found a way to prove it, it would only be a matter of time before we're able to find solutions to almost every encryption. And while that would mean encryption is in danger, that would also mean that computations of difficult problems would become trivial. And then suddenly, my entire job becomes obsolete because it's less about it's about writing algorithms in order to solve problems, and it's more just feeding enough data to the computer that it can generate its own solutions to problems. It's crazy, man. But anyway, that was definitely... Okay, I defined the problem in about 20 seconds, and then I started going on about the ramifications. I'm done now. I'm going to find a new topic of conversation at some point. Right now my brain is just... I wanted to get that out, because I know that the first quarter of this level is me just nonsensically rambling, and I don't like that. Yeah. I'm on a new streaming schedule now. I'm streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Used to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, but I wanted to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I couldn't because I was doing Dungeons and Dragons on Fridays. But my campaign came to an exciting conclusion on Friday. My team managed to avoid getting killed. Good for them. I did try to kill them, unsuccessfully. Despite the fact that I attacked them with a dragon turtle and a pirate king and a double god. We were having a lot of fun with the double god. See, the pirate king was a god, and then the dragon turtle was a god, and then when they got defeated, they merged together into double god. It was fun. I had fun, they had fun. I'm relieved to be done with it. I'm gonna take a nice break from D&D, at least from being a DM. I might run some one-shots every now and again, but I think I'm about done with running campaigns for a couple of years. I'm sure I'll get the itch to run a campaign at some point, but I would probably want to find a group of people that want me to run a campaign as opposed to just finding randoms online. missing on this door? Okay, we got the door. Gotta get the frame though. Got the frame. Is the handle different? Because sometimes they do that. That doesn't look like it. Got that wall. Yeah. So I've changed my streaming schedule, and I'm still trying to keep my times at about the same, which is at 5:30 Eastern time. But sometimes I'm a little bit late, and so what Abby and I used to do is, like, if I would be late, then I would just stream, and then we eat dinner late. Like, we would eat dinner sometimes at 9 or 10, and that's not good for either of us. You shouldn't be eating meals. I've been told, like, past 8 o'clock is about the cutoff where you want to, like, avoid, like, stop eating for the day. But in general, you just don't want to eat meals after your body has started to shut down and get ready to start, like, resting. Because once your body starts shutting down, it's going from, oh, I'm going to burn all these calories, to, oh, I've got to store all this extra energy. And your body's favorite way of storage is, of course, fat. So if you want to reduce your fat intake, one thing that you need to do is you need to stop eating late. And that's so. What Abby and I have started to do is, if I'm not ready to start my stream by like 6 o'clock, because usually if work meetings have me saying working later than I usually would, or when I go to the gym, if I'm unable to, if we're not done with the gym in a reasonable amount of time so that I can shower afterward and all that, then what we'll do is we'll eat dinner first, and then I can stream later. That way we're eating dinner earlier, and I'm not rushing to finish my stream. I think it's a good move on our part. So that's what we're going with for now. We'll see if it stays a good move. Yeah. But yeah, no. I spent all last week preparing for Dungeons and Dragons, the finale, and now I am so, like, tired and burnt out, and I didn't, like, do any of my YouTube videos. Like, I didn't do any prepping of my VODs for YouTube, so I have like 5 streams worth of YouTube videos to work on. So that's fun, working on that. But it's coming along. Okay, where am I missing on this wall here? There we go. Cool. So this gate is dirty, but this wooden barricade does not count. We have the ceiling as well. Okay, let's get the gate. Alright, so this looks kind of rusted, so we need to try and get some of this rust off. Did that work? I think that worked pretty well. Cool. Okay, we'll do the same for this one. Coolio. Okay, we're going to leave this part. We're gonna do like half of the subway first. So before let's get you out of the way. Let's get the pillars. How about that? Yeah, so I've been working on Dungeons and Dragons. All done with that, thankfully. It was fun, but I'm glad to be given a break. I'm probably gonna look for a campaign to be a player in for a while. I was in one for a little bit, but I don't know. It didn't feel right. You gotta find a group of players that you really meld well with. That's the key to having a good time with Dungeons and Dragons, is if you don't like the people you're playing with as much, or you don't gel with them the way that you want to. That's just not something you want to commit to. Nothing personal against any of them. It's just, I felt out of place while I was playing there, so I need to find myself a new group. I'll keep working on that. But in the meantime, I've mostly been occupied with work, D&D. I finally finished Xenogears. Xenogears was this JRPG from the 90s. Uses mechs. I actually think there might be a connection between the studio that made Xenogears and the studio that made Xenoblade Saga. Don't quote me on that though. I didn't read too much into it. I think there might be. I think there's definitely a connection between Xenogears and Xenosaga. So it would stand to reason that Xenoblade Saga, or Xenoblade Chronicles, maybe Xenoblade Chronicles, it would stand to reason that they would also be affiliated with that franchise. And I've heard good things about Xenoblade Chronicles, but man, Xenogears was a long game and it was kind of boring. It was so slow-paced. The combat took forever. Every move your characters did would take like 20 seconds, and you know that's not what you want when you're trying to like play your way through a game. If you're a turn-based RPG, you don't want your attacks to take so long. That's why I would always hate in Final Fantasy games when I had to do the summons, and the summons would take forever. It's like, yeah, these are technically like some of the best moves I can do right now, but they take so long. It's like, let me go get some popcorn while you're going through that. I'll come back by the time you're halfway through. Anyway, I finished that, and that was my X game. So I've been doing this for like 2 years now, where I've just been trying to beat one franchise game for each letter of the alphabet. I have no idea. I can't remember almost any of the letters at this point. I just know what one I've currently been on, and I was on Xenogears for X. So now I needed a Y when I finally finished it, and I picked the first Yu-Gi-Oh game that I could tell that had come out. It's a PS1 game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. And I'm like, you know, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! This could be fun. Little did I know that this game has like only loose connection to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the cards are the same and the general rules are the same, but like you can fuse your cards willy-nilly. Normally in Yu-Gi-Oh! You need a special card called Fusion Gate or Polymerization in order to fuse two cards together. In Forbidden Memories, you can just fuse your cards willy-nilly. The fusions are also like just generic. Like also in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you have a fusion card, it requires 2 specific cards in order to fuse. That's not a thing in this game. And then you can only play 1 card per turn, which in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can only play like 1 monster per turn, but you can play as many magic cards as you want in a turn. And in Forbidden Memories, no, you either play a monster card or a magic card. Not both. Yeah, no, that's weird. It's been a weird experience. I'm working on in that game. If I want to beat it, there's this 1 card that you can get in the game called Meteor Black Dragon. And in order to get a Meteor Black Dragon, you gotta beat this guy, and he has like a 1% chance of giving it to you if you beat him with a good enough grade. So, you know, I have to fight him probably about 100 times while getting a good grade when I do before I finally get one. But once I get one, I should be able to blaze through the rest of the game. Bit of a pain, though. The goal is to finish that one up. And then I gotta find something to play for Z. I don't really have many good, like, franchise games that start with Z. I was looking, but there aren't many of them. I was looking at a franchise called Zone of Enders, which I currently don't own any copies of. I don't have any entries of that franchise, but it has good reviews. So that's the one I'm currently leaning towards. I'd have to buy it for this challenge, but... yeah. Sucks to suck, I guess. Oh, wait, I should do this first before I worry about the rust. Oh, cool. Cool, those ones, I guess that one wasn't very rusted. I like the eyes over the gate. Yeah, no. So what else is new? 2 nights ago was movie night, and I make a requirement of Abby that every October we have to watch 2 horror movies, one that I pick and one that she picks. And she always hates it, but the agreement is that if we do it in October, then I don't pick horror movies through the rest of the year for us to watch. So 2 a year is probably a good enough compromise. I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies, but I do like to see some of them. I've been trying to see some of the more classic ones, so those have been the ones that I've been picking. Like I picked, last year I picked Friday the 13th, and this year I picked Halloween. Abby always is like scared of these movies when I first like start them, and then halfway through the movie she's just complaining about how stupid they are. She's not really scared, she's just annoyed at how stupid they are. So we're probably gonna have to bump up the scary a little bit if I want to get her a little spooked. But she's picking the one that we're watching on Halloween night, and that's going to be Hellraiser, which I have not seen, but I recognize the pinhead dude. That'll be nice and scary. But who knows? It's a 1987 movie, and they don't quite do horror in 1987 like they do in the 2000s. I think next year I'm probably gonna pick like Nightmare on Elm Street. That way I can get the major trifecta of Jason, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger. Also, I haven't seen Scream, so I'll have to watch that at some point too. There's a lot of horror movies out there. Nice. Okay, gotta get this wall now. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to take it a little easy for the next couple weeks. For my sanity's sake. we go. Got the light. So we have the floor and we have the ceiling. We have these clocks too. Let's get the clocks. Okay. Why is this so unclean? I think that was the majority of it right there. There we go. Cool. Nice. We got one more light here. Whoop. Cool. Okay. I guess we'll just get the ceiling out of the way. I guess I didn't do this light right here. Cool. Oh, nice. I suppose it makes sense that they would be generous about it because it was such a large thing. Alright, let's get the... Oh, they're separate. Never mind. Not so generous. They're assholes. Okay, so is that all the ceilings? Looks like it. We still have to get this middle piece here. Construction began on the Muckingham to Caldera City branch line in 1920, funded by local businessman Wilberforce Thrust, who was keen to provide an efficient means of transporting his workforce from the city to his thriving cattle ranches. It was finally unveiled by Mayor Jeff Jefferson X, who tragically passed away the self-same day from an incident related to the station's substandard construction. Nice. So it's an entire family of grifters, I see. There we go. Cool. So that takes care of that. Let's get the yellow, the tactile platform. Nice. That worked out pretty well. Decently sizable job here, huh? Okay, so we have a metal floor and then a mosaic floor. We're gonna focus on this tile floor here first. suddenly just got hit by a wave of tired. Wouldn't be surprised if I start dozing off. I've definitely done that before, dozing off while playing video games. I remember doing that in Warframe a lot. I used to play Warframe with a friend every night at like 10 p.m. You know, after working all day and working out and then dinner and all the chores and everything, you finally sit down to play video games, you just pass out. Sometimes you just can't help it, you get sleepy. Can't even tell what the like texture is of this metal floor. That spot right there is obviously not clean. I wonder why that is. Cool. Okay, metal floor is clean. Now we have to do the tile floor, the mosaic. But let's get the stuff. Let's get the benches. Nice. Okay, cool. So that bench is all done. Another bench plus the information box. As large and seemingly tedious as this job is, at least it doesn't have too many like intricate little cubbies I need to worry about. Hello, Abigail. Okay, so the base is not a separate object. It's all just one object. Look at that subway line. Muckingham, Pumpton, Detergento, Power Falls, Fumarole, Scoria, La Harlem, Caldera City, Bisaltimore, Washingham, Bucketon, Spongely, Lubra City, Suds East, Sparkleton, Moppingham, Sprayers, and Blemishigan. Blemishigan? Blemishigan. Nice. Oh, cool. So the map is its own thing. Okay, how dirty are these? Oh, they're pretty dirty. Okay, I imagine I need to get on top of this box. Cool. We got all of the maps and the subway boards and the schedule boards on them. Now we got some more benches to do. Let's get the top. Bench is not clean. Okay, so I'm still missing something on this bench. Okay, we got that one. There we go. Bit of a pain. Oh, nice. Was not expecting them to give me that easily. There we go. Okay. I guess that's what I needed to do, is get up and get behind the seats like that. Okay, now that we've done all of the objects that are on the middle, let's get the tiled floor, the mosaic floor. Okay, let's start going sideways like this. A little confused that I'm only at 47%. I should be like at halfway, if not past it, considering I'm now crossing the halfway mark. I guess we'll see what I'm at after I finish this mosaic tile floor. I should be like a few percent over 50 by the time I finish it. Cool. Got that one. Nice. Next one. Yeah, no. I would think at this point that I'd be like past 50%, which leaves me concerned that I'm missing something on this half of the... I guess I don't have the ceiling. The ceiling is probably actually what's throwing off my expectations here. Okay. I guess we gotta do the main ceiling now. I'm gonna need my ladder to get up there, I think. Snipe. Okay. Cool. Got that. I need to get up there now. Oh, you gotta clean the light too? I did get the light somehow. I still need to get this ledge better though. Okay, that works. Alright, let's get the arch. Nice. Okay. Next is that wall. Cool. The yellow works out pretty nicely for that part. Nice. Okay, gotta get this ledge, and then we're heading into the middle piece. The ceiling isn't particularly fun. It's a little bit of a pain. Mostly because of the objects in the way, the benches and the box. They become more of an obstacle than you'd like them to be. I guess this might be useful for this case here, though. Cool, that worked out pretty nicely. All things considered. Hey-ya. Parkour. And then I immediately go off the other side. Cool. And now we just gotta get to the ceiling. Cool. Okay, middle ceiling's done. We still have 2 more sections of ceiling to get through, though. And then, you know, the other half of the tracks. Big ass train station, subway station. What is a subway if not a train, though? Did I not get this ceiling? I guess I missed part of the ceiling. I wonder what distracted me. Because I clearly got all those ceilings, and I didn't get these. Maybe I just assumed that when I got the other side that I would get this half too. Okay, so where am I missing? There we go, right there. Nailed it. Back to trying to clean up my ceilings here. Easy. Gotcha. Other side. Whew, let me take some water before I start falling asleep. PowerWash Simulator is not always the most mentally activating game out there. Sometimes you just start getting a little relaxed, you know? Happens to the best of us. I'm also not exactly the king of staying awake, much to Abby's dismay. We'll be going to bed and she'll be lying awake for an hour and I'll have fallen asleep within 2 minutes of my head hitting the pillow. If that. Although she says she never gets, like, grumpy. She just gets, like, sad. She's like, ah, oh, I wish I could fall asleep like that. Makes me feel bad. But it gets to be a bit of a pain when I'm trying to watch something and it's later. Like if it's like past midnight, I'm trying to watch like another episode of something. Here I am just passing out, unable to keep my eyes open. God, and reading has been so hard. We've been trying to read more. Wednesdays are supposed to be our reading days. And if we don't read early, like if we put off reading until like after dinner, we basically can't get far because we'll just start passing out. I don't know why reading has suddenly become such a sleep-inducing activity. I think I get it from my mother. She falls asleep watching TV all the time. I never understand how she manages it, but now I'm starting to understand. You're just sleepy. Your body's like, yo, rest time now. And then you're being selfish and telling your body, no, I want to play video games, or no, I want to read. Cool. And now for this one, and this should be the last part of the ceiling, yeah? Got the light, got the lip, now we need the wall. Got it, okay. Let's get this support here. Nice. Okay, we're at 58%. That seems about right. We still have to get this entire like section. We've cleaned allegedly everything on this half of the of the station. So where do we want to start here? Why don't we get the objects? So we'll get the posts, the pillars, and the lights. This light here. I think there's a light on the other side too. Got that. And then here we go. Okay. The subway was reopened again following extensive repointing in 1923 by Mayor Jeff Jefferson the 11th. I'm sure that says repointing and not repainting. It closed again the following fall after the shocking revelation that Wilberforce Thrust had been using it to funnel train trucks full of stolen money out of the town. The money was never recovered, of course. Progress on this mission is definitely pretty slow. There's a lot that's happening here. Okay, and then I wanted to get this light. Okay, cool. Let's get, I guess we'll get the lights and the like hanging signs and clocks. Light. Cool. Light. Another light. Clock. And light. Cool. I love how effective, like, cleaning the lights and everything just really makes everything clean. I like it. It's satisfying. Okay, I guess I didn't do this pillar. I guess we'll get this pillar next. Alright, so I'm trying to decide what to do next, and I remember somebody in my stream last time I played this that was quite upset that I wasn't cleaning from top to bottom, even though that's not a problem in this game. But to satisfy that one random person, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head right now, we're going to clean from the top down to the bottom. Okay. There we go. Now let's get the same thing on the other side. Okay, what am I missing here? Where's the spot that I'm missing? Right here. There we go. Cool. Now we need to get this more outer section. Nice. Always love it when they give me a nice, easy, lenient one. Not demanding perfection. I demand enough perfection from myself, thank you. I don't need it from the game, too. I really do put a lot of expectations on myself. I have a lot of projects that I want to do, a lot of things I want to accomplish. I set myself a list of goals last November. See if I could have them done by this November. I don't know if I got a single one of them. I wanted to learn 2 pieces on the piano. I think I have 1 piece pretty well down. I wanted to run a 5K in under half an hour, and I haven't run a single 5K this year. So who knows if I can do it in under half an hour. I'm going to guess probably not. My 1 mile is consistently sitting at about like 8:59, which isn't great. And so like if I could keep that pace for a whole 5K, then that would be like, what, 27 minutes? But I have trouble keeping that pace for a while. Usually my first mile will be like that, and then my second mile will be like 12 minutes. You get tired, you know. It's difficult. That was another thing. I wanted to participate in daily coding challenges, and I barely did that for like not even a month before I'm like, nope, okay, I'm done. I'm good with this. There was another thing on that list. Oh, I wanted to do D&D. I wanted to participate in a one-shot once per month, and I did pretty good with that for a while, although I think I've fallen out in the last couple of months. Like I said, I'd rather play in some one-shot. I want to be a player for a while. I don't really want to DM. I did have an idea for a one-shot, but I'm probably not gonna get around to planning it out and writing it up and all that jazz for a bit. We're gonna give this a run through from this direction and hope that whatever that... I don't understand why it's like I miss it sometimes. Maybe I just need to look at it from straight above and see what I've missed. we go. Alright, next up is going to be, I guess, the tiled platform floor. Although I like how I was like, oh, I'll do it from top to bottom, and then I just started doing the floor. Forgot about these walls over here, so let's get these walls. These fucking walls! I don't even know what that's from. I just had a friend of mine who would say that all the time. I haven't talked to that friend in a while. He was on a I think he was on a professional Overwatch team for a little bit. But he wasn't having fun with it, which I can empathize. I can empathize greatly with that. I didn't get to professional Overwatch, but I did a lot of competitive Overwatch, and I was in the top 500, and man, did I hate it. I love the game Overwatch, but I don't like what the competitive mode does to me. I get angry, I get stressed, I keep playing it when I shouldn't be, I don't take breaks. Final straw was when I was in college. I was in the middle of a competitive game, and I was living in my fraternity house. And the fire alarm went off while I was in the middle of a competitive game, and I decided that I was going to stay and finish my game rather than leave. Which, okay. To be fair, the fraternity house had a fire alarm go off almost on a monthly basis. And almost never was it actually a fire. I cannot say that it was never actually a fire, because sometimes it was a fire. But more often than not, it was mostly some brother got drunk and decided to make burgers on the stove and didn't turn on the fume hood, and the smoke detector went off in the kitchen. Like, 60% of the time, that's the reason for a fire alarm going off at that fraternity house. And so, you know, I heard that. I'm like, oh, it's just probably somebody being stupid again. Some drunk idiot making a hamburger without turning on the fume hood. So I stayed in my game. And after I was done, I was like, you know, I really shouldn't have done that. That's really not good. Like, there could have been something, and I stupidly chose a video game over my potential safety. And so after that, I really started to dial back on my competitive gaming, and I've never really gotten into anything competitive after that. I've mostly been trying to avoid it. And when I do play something competitive, I'm not like looking at my elo, tracking it, and like making sure it's, you know, caring about it. I'm just like, eh, whatever. You win some, you lose some. Yeah, no, that was bad. I fully admit that was pretty bad. Yeah, I know. Some people have asked me if I'm excited to play Overwatch 2. Not really. I mean, I don't really even know how it's different from Overwatch 1. I know they shut down Overwatch 1. I did hear that. And now it's Overwatch 2. I don't know, man. It's a fun game, but... But, like, if you're not playing competitive, people in quick play don't take it seriously. And I would like to take it seriously, but I don't want to be getting angry about my elo in it. That's the other thing. And, you know, you go into competitive and you're told, oh, you have to play your specific role, and then if you Like, if you want to be a DPS, it's like, well, you need to be the best DPS ever. Like, sometimes I wanted to be a DPS, and the team would just not let me. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. But more often than not, I would be tank. Tank was my usual role. Support as well, and then occasionally I would be DPS if our DPS wasn't up to snuff. I'd come in with my own DPS. Start putting out some damage. But I mean, I was usually able to keep my damage output pretty high even as a support or a tank, which you're not really supposed to do. Like, as a support, you're supposed to be focusing on healing, and as a tank, you're supposed to be absorbing damage. And I would. It's just, you know. Sometimes the McCree just can't hit the dang Pharah. Stuff like that. Although they renamed McCree, because I guess they named him after an Activision or a Blizzard employee who has since been accused of inappropriate behavior. So it kind of sucks because I do like the name McCree. I understand why they wanted to change it. I guess the lesson is just don't name characters after real people. Because you never know what real people are capable of doing. Keep watching all these like YouTube videos discussing all these like awful people that are like influencers that are like behind the scenes just doing all of these awful things. I don't understand why it's so common for that to be the case. I guess power and fame just gets to everybody's head. Kind of sad. I don't know. The theory that just popped into my head is that when people are going online and trying to share their lives with the world, like, it's human nature to have things that you want to keep to yourself. So when you're going online broadcasting like everything you're doing, there's a part of you that wants to keep things hidden. And that's what helps draw people towards those kinds of things, where they'll do something awful and then it's like, okay, now I do have something to hide. Like, people like having a secret. Secrets are seductive, I guess is the word I'll use. I don't know. If anybody's concerned, I don't currently have any skeletons in my closet. I think I'm pretty good. I mean, there are definitely things I haven't talked about on stream that I might never get around to talking about on stream, but I don't think I'm abusing Abby. She's happy. I ask her if she's happy all the time. I just don't get it. Makes me sad. But, you know, for all these cases of people you see that are just awful, there are thousands, millions of people that are perfectly fine and kind and normal and generous. It's always the bad ones that get amplified, which sucks, because the stories about the bad people are the ones that get spread over the stories about the good people. Ugh. Nice. Okay, now we need to get the yellow floor. Cool. Okay, that's all the ledge there. Kind of excited to finally get back to doing the tunnel, though. Everything in the middle here has been taking me forever. This is a long job. I don't know how many more I have left. I think I'm down into the single digits at this point, but each one of these jobs could end up taking me, you know, 2 or 3 hours apiece at this rate. Ugh. Okay, is that all of these? Nope, this one's still dirty. Gotcha. Okay. Should I start at the top again? Wow. It's so long. The problem with the yellow is that it's so narrow in comparison to the green. So while it's generally, it's more powerful, I don't have to go over things as much. You still have to go over things you still basically have to go over things multiple times because you gotta get it all. That's the drawback. Generally, I've been liking using the green because the green has been pretty good. Like, it's got a decent enough power. It's got a nice spread on it. Whereas the yellow is more powerful, but more condensed. Okay, anyway, we should get started on the ceiling. This is going to take a little while. This is gonna take a moment, a hot second. Nice. Cool. Ceiling's done. Now we've got the walls to do. And then it's on to the ledge and the tracks. I'm excited to do the ledge and the tracks just because it's something that feels different to me. And because then I'll feel like I'm actually almost done. Because man, this has been a long job. I'm still almost, not even at 80%. We're about to get another tidbit about the construction of the station here in a second. Okay, what's still not clean on this wall? Maybe this. Nope. Bottom. Nada, huh? Where it at? Oh, there we go. Okay, other side. Anything look dirty? Yeah, that looks pretty dirty right there. The subway remained closed for another 30 years until community funding allowed for its renovation. It ran until 1984 when the main tunnel's extensive repointing finally failed, thankfully in the dead of night. What is repointing? I'm gonna look up what repointing is after this wall is cleaned. I'm curious. Inquiring minds would like to know. Come on. There we go, okay. Now then, phone, tell me, what is repointing? In terms of bricks, repointing consists in removing a portion of the deteriorated mortar and redoing the joints with new mortar. It's a process of removing deteriorated mortar from a joint and placing new sound mortar. So I guess it's like taking the mortar, the stuff in between all the bricks and tiles. There's not really bricks and tiles in a subway tunnel, so I don't know what they're talking about. Either way, it must be some kind of, like, project to stabilize the subway. Okay, so this tunnel wall and the one below the cable are different. Okay, this tunnel wall's like ready to go. Right there. There. Come on, give it to me. You know you want to be clean. You know you want it. Come on. There we go. Thank you. Let's get this next one. Now then, this cable, the cable's getting there. Got the cable. Cool. Now, what's next? Okay, 1 sec. This part here is bothering me. That this didn't get clean as much as it should have. I know I've just been kind of going, giving it the old, like, single go, but I'm not a complete heathen. I like getting completions. I like the dings. Resuming my sweeps. The owner of the Helter Skelter has been doing this for quite a while, because all these advertisements are from 1984, from the last time that this was open. Which actually means that that's Jeff Jefferson the 12th. That's the one, that's the father of the one who just escaped. Okay, glad we got the first half of the wall done. Let's see how bad the second half will be. We're finally getting into the late stages of this job. Man, this job has taken me a while. I put like an hour of it into it last time. Actually, no, I think I put like a half hour into it last stream. I put 2 hours into it this stream. This is gonna be like a 3-hour job when I'm all done with it. Was not expecting this one to be so long. Scares me for whatever's gonna come next. Okay. Let's get this light. Got the light. I don't think that this billboard is got graffiti on it. I think it just needs another couple quick sprays with the green. It should be good to go. Yeah, see? What'd I tell ya? Got the light. Now for good old Mayor Jeff Jefferson. It's funny that they keep electing these Jeff Jeffersons when they all appear to be corrupt or inept. It makes me think about this D&D podcast that I listen to called Not Another D&D Podcast. And there's this family of halflings, which are basically like hobbits, that are extremely cowardly and stupid. But they keep finding themselves in positions of power, like scout leaders and mayors and such. And the players always loving, like, tormenting them now. It's so funny. Because they're just so, like, cowardly and unlikable. Cool. Got that cable for free. Tunnel's done, baby. Tunnel wall, at least. Wall's done. Does the cable go along the whole length of the floor, or is that cut in half? Oh, looks like it goes along the whole floor. Okay, 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 we're getting there. Let's get the ledge now. You telling me you're not clean? There we go. Tunnel lights. There's not lights down by the track, are there? So I got that light. Got that light, got that light, got that light, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. So I got all those lights. That one. That one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, I didn't get this one. Got that one. Got that one. Got that one. Apparently didn't get this one. And didn't get this one. Okay. Now, we have the 3 tracks and 2 floors. So let's get her done. Hey Jill, how are you doing? Thank you for the lurk. I do appreciate it. Remember to floss. I will. I will. I'll floss. How is this? Is this just like a streak of rust? Why is that so resilient? Wait a second, okay. Interesting. Okay. on to the next side of the track. Theoretically, by the time I get down to the other end of the track, this one should ding. Nice. With room to spare. Okay, so now we're just gonna get this section here nice and done. I wonder if Jill was surprised to see that we're still... there's more of this streak. That we're still on the subway station because she raided me last week when I started the subway station. And clearly we have gotten very far. I mean, we're almost done. We're at 94%, but still, this has been a very long coming job. Okay. Let's go like right here-ish. So that's more rust. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's in multiple places. There it is again. And again. We'll go deal with that probably last. Let me grab some more water. I'm getting thirsty. I should be hydrating more. Hydrate before you dehydrate, man. Especially because I went running today. I probably should be running more than I am. I only run twice a week now. And when I do, it's for about 2 miles. My best running shape ever was my sophomore year of college, freshman and sophomore year of college, where I was running like a 5K every other day. I have not run a 5K in quite some time now. Okay, we will deal with the rust last, I think. If the track doesn't ding for me here, I'm gonna go and do the top of it better, because I don't think I got the top particularly well either of the times I tried doing either side of it. But I might ding. There you go. It dinged. I just want to know what these stains are. Okay. This part's going to be tougher to get the coverage on the track, though. Don't mind me, I'm just spasming out here. I'm trying my best to get the whole track, but I might have to do another sweep. Yeah, I gotta do another sweep, okay. How about this? This should be pretty effective, yeah? Still no. There we go, okay. So all that's left are the floors. So let's get what we can of the black marks on the floors, and then we'll deal with whatever this rust stain is. At least I'm assuming it's rust anyway. Not sure what else it would be. Okay. Cool. Now we just gotta do the one on this side. Boop. 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 Now that. Okay, big one. Should give it to me quickly. Yeah, okay. Finally. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. It's clean enough to eat off of. Sparkling like a newborn baby bottom. Oh, fucking hell. Your work has been signed off. Congratulations. Wow, that is for such a long job. I was expecting a little more recognition, maybe? No? Okay, fine. Okay.